right, so I want to get to kind of a topic that in the past I've avoided on this show because I feel personally that sports are an outlet for people to sit back, relax, and be entertained, and that's what we are essentially.
Absolutely.
There is, the president of the United States has been divisive. There's a lot of division throughout the country right now, and he threw himself into the sports realm over the weekend on Friday. And right now we're going to take a listen to his comments that got a lot of people fired up.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Again, those comments took place at a rally in Alabama on Friday night. It was something that kind of rang throughout the sports world. It upset several different people, and it's just a head scratcher. And I want to get your thoughts on his word choice. Why do you think a person in his position would say something like that? It's a baffling situation that we can only figure out through conversation across the board on any of the topics going on right now. So let's get it started. So, give your thoughts on it.
Seth, you want to go first?
I wish that the president would stay out of sports because, like you said, Christian, sports is an outlet. I think a lot of people turn to sports and enjoy sports because it's not political, it's not real world, and that's what it's become in this last week with what's been said and the players kneeling for the anthem. I think you obviously can't go back and undo it, but we can have good discussion about this now. I think more than ever now with the increase in protest, now we just need to start the discussion. We've seen that people want some things to change, but it's just a matter of having that discussion now.
DJ.
Yes. I agree with Seth on this one. I think the president should just stay out of sports because, like you said, Christian, it is a good outlet for people. And with him speaking out against the NFL, I know that there have been guys taking a knee during the national anthem for the past 2 years now. And I feel like some of those guys, some of the other guys that haven't been taking knee, they've been right on the edge, of thinking what is the best way. Because, there has been a lot of discussion about the inequality here in the United States of America, and they have been wondering what is the right way to approach this, to get their message out. And Trump really, I don't feel like he attacked just the players who were protesting. When you attack those players who are taking a knee, that attacks pretty much the whole team because you're a team, you're in unity, and in the locker room, the whole group of people I feel like felt attacked by those comments, and so it pushed everybody to protest, not just the guys who were before. It pushed everybody to protest this weekend, and as a result, we saw the ratings fall. Now,
right. Yeah. I want to mention, you'd mentioned he's not just going towards those individuals who are doing so, but he went after the team and the
fans,
the league. He went after the entire league by saying what he said. I have been under the thought that no one who is there's a deeper reason why he would say something like that. My thought has been all weekend that no one who is surrounded by so many smart people, in theory smart people, gets to act and say things that are that dumb.
And you brought up the point that it could be tried to raise an attempt to try and raise the ratings.
I thought I thought it was an attempt to raise the stock. I thought there was maybe a handshake behind. Could be crazy of me to think this way, but I thought there could be a handshake behind closed doors that, hey, I'll mention you and this will happen because of this. We looked up the numbers before the show went on the air, and ratings fell by 4% again this week. And part of that is people are consuming the NFL in different ways. People are consuming everything in different ways. But the NFL is this country's most popular league. The president said something negative, extremely negative, about those involved with the league. and the ratings fell again.
with
That
with vulgarity too.
That kind of blows my theory out of the water.
And I think there were multiple people, even Tom Brady, who has been supportive of Trump in the past, that came out and said that his remarks were like terrible and not, in the not needed at this moment. And so I think that's another thing that kind of shoots your theory down. But I mean, it is something to think about. As for, the protests that have been going on, something I would like to see is, yes, these guys are protesting, but what I want to see is what are they doing in their community? Are they starting groups or things like that? They're definitely starting a conversation, which is good. But what I want to see going forward is how these players that have been protesting the past 2 years, how are they trying to change this idea and this culture that we have of discriminating towards the African American community right now. And there could, multiple veterans have come out and said that on both sides. They've said, yes, they've been upset that they have been disrespecting the flag like this, and yes, they have been in support of these players that have been protesting.
I think an indirect outcome from President Trump's comments on Friday is that there's a better understanding for what is being protested.
Yeah.
People have been forced to talk about, why they are doing the things they are doing.
Yes.
And,
now there just needs, there needs to be action.
There does need to be action, but I think that the Dallas Cowboys benefited from getting to see everything that happened on Sunday. They made their gesture before the national anthem happened.
Yes.
When they linked arms, owner and all, coaches, players, all linked arms, took a knee together, and stood back up well before the national anthem was played. And I think we're getting to a point where, from what the comments that were made, there's a better understanding for what is being protested, which I think could, long term be positive from the comments.
I think that with the protests being so prominent now, it's all the headlines in the sports world. Everybody knows what it's about. The players, I think now it's less about kneeling for the anthem than it is having that discussion. I think the players need to use the power that they have, being in the role that they have, speak up during the press conferences. They have that ability. They can get the discussion going. They can get people to listen to them. They have the power and the position to do that.
And there is now a group of players that have sent a letter into the NFL wanting. We have the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the Military Appreciation Month or week or whatever it is, and they sent in a letter to the NFL to ask for a month of equality month or something like that. Something along those lines, to where we recognize the minorities in this country, and people like that, and really show our appreciation for them.
Right. I think, like I said, I think the positive you can take from it is that, for the most part, there could be a better understanding for what those players who have been trying to bring awareness to equality and racial issues, there's a better understanding for what they are doing now, and that might be, the best takeaway we can kind of take from the comments made on Friday, and be aware of that and do what we can to help that situation moving forward.